Redstone is awesome. Anyone who tries to deny that is just totally wrong. But the issue is that sometimes redstone can get a little bit complicated, and to do something impressive, you have to build something that looks a little bit like this. So in today's video, we're going to be taking it back a notch, and we're going to be creating some simple redstone contraptions that are still really quite awesome. Design number one is actually two different designs, but these things are known as magic buttons. Now you'd be happy to hear that they do also work with levers, but as you can see we've got a block suspended above the ground that still works as an input. Now the way that this functions is this block is bud powering this piston, and this piston will only extend once it receives a block update. Now the best thing about this is that we have this redstone clock right here, which is constantly updating our piston, meaning that as soon as this block gets powered, this piston extends, meaning that we have ourselves a redstone input. So this is design number one. It's really quite simple. We've got a comparator clock directly next to our piston, and this lever is just powering that redstone right there. Or alternatively, we have this design over here. Now there are one or two flaws with this design. Number one is that it's quite expensive. Number two is that it can break if someone drops an item on top of that hopper right there. So that's definitely something to watch out for. But also, your pulse length can actually vary from it because the updates don't come particularly quickly. So that's just something to be aware of. But both of these designs function, and they're both pretty cool. Now onto one of the simplest builds of today's video. I'm going to show you the whole building process. Daylight sensor, put it into night mode, then two comparators just like that, a redstone lamp, a dropper, and then this many items on the inside. This thing right here is known as a bedtime alert system. That redstone lamp will only turn on when you're able to sleep. So here we have a bed conveniently slotted into the system, and if we set the time to 12,500, you can see things get dark. Now we've just hopped into the bed, and I don't know if you saw, but the redstone lamp turned on. So it is pretty much instant, okay? As soon as that redstone lamp turns on, you are then able to sleep through the night, which means that you can avoid this sort of action. The whole shaking your fist at the bed, doing it for ages, waiting for the sun to come down. Now you'll know for sure. I don't know about you guys, but I personally find minecarts really, really frustrating. There's been a lot of times where I kind of stand on the minecart rail and then, well, that happens. I watch my minecart travel thousands of blocks off into the distance without me riding it. So this system right here is going to make your life considerably better in that department. All we have to do is create this sort of slime block contraption right here and place some glass on either side and then a redstone block on the top. And that is it. That is everything right there. So if we send a minecart up, you can see it gets caught by the system. But if we pop inside and hit this button, you can see that we travel straight through. We just go straight through. It's like a minecart catcher system that is smart and it knows that you're there. Now the only thing that I will say is that you need to make sure that you have this sort of setup with regular minecart rails going up and over in this sort of hill formation. And that is everything. I mean, how cool is that? Now I must admit, this might be pushing the boundaries of what could be considered simple, but I have spent quite a long time developing this thing, and I'm really, really happy with it. This is a 3-block wide multi-block swapper. So as you can see, we hit the button, and it swaps out the block, and then we get a different block, and then we get a different block, and a different block. You guys get the idea. Now you may be scratching your head thinking, I don't really understand what this is for, and to be honest with you, on the PC, it only looks cool, which is fine. If you want to build things that looks cool, that's perfectly fine by me. But for those of you who play Pocket Edition or Windows 10 Edition, this is going to be pretty good, because that means that you can cycle through chests, furnaces, droppers, and all sorts of other bits and pieces, because in Pocket Edition, you guys are lucky, and you can push that sort of stuff. I'm very, very jealous. To build this one, you want to get things started with a 3x7 area, and the first thing that we're going to do is create a monostable circuit, and that's going to be running out into both of our piston feed tapes. So we're going to have redstone running up like this, and that's going to run into this block right here with a redstone torch on the side. Then we're going to have a repeater set to 2 ticks once again. That's going to be going out into this block with a redstone torch on top. Then we're going to have a sticky piston facing in this direction, and then a regular piston facing in this direction right here. So that is one side of the piston feed tape. Now on this side, we're going to have redstone running up like this. That's going to be going into this block right here. And then we want to get a repeater and set that one to 1 tick. That's going to be going into this block with redstone dust on top. And then that's going to be a regular piston facing across right there. And then we want another repeater set to 4 ticks. That's going to be going into this block right here with a regular piston facing across just like that. Now to do your input, you just want to run a repeater into that monostable circuit right there. We're going to have a sticky piston facing upwards with your piston feed tape block on its face. And then a sticky piston facing downwards with a redstone block on its face. And that is everything completed. Apart from the fact that, of course, you do need to fill in all of the blocks on the piston feed tape. And the way that you do that is just placing blocks going across like this. Obviously, your different types of blocks, whatever you really fancy. And then blocks going across like this, leaving a gap there and a gap around about there. Then you just want to place a block on top of that piston and then a button. And that should be everything. So there we go. Block swapper action. I thought you said this thing was going to be simple. What on earth is going on here? I know it might look like we have a lot of redstone going on right here. And we kind of do. I mean, we have a little bit of redstone circuitry. We have quite a few repeaters and things like that. But I can promise you that this is very, very densely compact to the point where all of this space in this area right here, pretty much none of it is actually redstone related. And the only lines that you really have to worry about are these ones going around the outside. But as you can see, we have got some chests up at the top right here. Right now, the system is popped up. So we have the top half of the storage system visible. We hit the button, and it drops down the rest of the storage system. Now, I've actually used this recently in a handful of my bigger redstone builds, and I loved it so much that I thought I would do a full tutorial on a super compact version that I've just spent the past couple hours developing. This 3x5 area is going to be the minimum size of our circuit, and that will drop down 2 blocks. But of course, you can extend out all of the redstone lines. I'll show you that in the next couple seconds. But the first thing you want to do is place in a line of blocks and then a block up like this, which is going to be your input. We're going to have redstone there and repeaters set to 3 ticks running into our double piston extenders. They're going to be facing upwards right there. Blocks on their faces, sticky pistons, blocks on their faces as well. So there is your little stair pattern dropping downwards. Then we are going to have some redstone running across the bottom like this. That's just going to make its way all the way around like that. We're going to have a repeater, redstone dust right there, 2 blocks, and then redstone right there. A block here to stop these 2 lines connecting, and then an upside down slab with redstone once again, a repeater, and a sticky piston with a block on its face. That's going to be a monostable circuit, and then you want to run a repeater line into this block with a block up like that, and redstone dust right about there. Now we just need to do the observer blocks, which are going to be facing upwards. They're going to be going into those blocks, and that is everything completed. So we place in our button, give it a press, and you can see there is the full extension, and there is the full retraction. Now, if you want to add in more of these things, so you want to have more blocks going across, all you have to do is extend out our redstone lines. So we're going to add in a few blocks going across right here. So that redstone needs to be extended, this redstone needs to be extended right here, and this redstone needs to be extended as well. And those need to all be set to 3 ticks. And then we need to add in all of the observers facing upwards, the blocks on their faces, and then of course add in all of the sticky pistons and the sticky pistons up here. And that will be everything completed. So we hit the button once again, and there is the flush, and there is the retraction. So this thing is pretty awesome. I mean, we can fill in all of these blocks. This right here is where your floor level will be, and you will end up with a really cool looking redstone contraption that is sure to impress all of your friends. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That rounds up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and also, I have done a really awesome video on the filming channel about my new car. I'd suggest checking it out. It's pretty good. Well, at least I'm pretty happy with it.